We are back. Welcome back to another interview. I got a couple of cool new friends that are super successful in the space from Bundle B, which is super creative, by the way. Bundle B Insurance Agency in El Paso, Texas. Please welcome to the channel, Oscar and Victoria Dominguez. What's up, Oscar and Victoria? How are y'all?
Good. How are you?
Doing awesome. Doing awesome. So Victoria, I'm kind of curious, what's it like growing up in the insurance business, being the daughter of a successful insurance agency owner? I can relate to that with my father being in insurance for 32 years.
I said I was never going to do it.
Yes, I thought the same thing.
I was like, this is boring. It's not me. And then when you get older and start realizing the coins, then it just changes really quick.
Yes, that's exactly right. Yeah, there's a lot more to it than you think, for sure. For those that do not know the Dominguez's yet, they Oscar's had huge success with a large captive carrier in the property and casualty space, a massive success, largest in West Texas, one of the largest in the whole country. And then went on to do his own thing and started his own independent P&C agency, Bundle B. Where did the name come from, Oscar? Where's the name Bundle B come from? It's super creative.
Well, I won't take the credit for it because I have a very smart wife. And so what she did, she said, look, let's not put a name on a new company that we like. Let's put a name that people like. So we hired an ad agency, I believe, from either Chicago or New York.
Wow.
And they did a whole beta test on the name. We actually had focus groups and what we wanted, and that's how they came with this name.
I love it. Creative. I mean, and it's going to stick. You know what I mean? It's one of those that's creative and that's going to stick, right? It's not Bumblebee, it's Bundlebee, because you bundle insurance policies
Exactly.
For others, which I love. Well, what would you say has been the secret to your success over the years? We get a lot of new agency owners on the channel that are watching, that are wondering how to grow up and be like you one day, you know?
For us, I think I'm going to say when we're on the captive side, about 20 years ago, we switched everything to an educational based marketing. Everything was educational based because we thought people don't want to hear a canned speech or if you have to rebuttal something, they want more facts. And so what we did, we actually got third-party articles, facts on things, and so we could show people, here are the facts. But everything we did was educational based. I think that was the start of our big success.
I love that. More educational based. That's really cool. Also too, as you are jumping in and watching this later, there are they have done a training video on the 5 biggest mistakes that P&C insurance agents are making. That's a separate video. The link's in the description. Should you want to learn more from them or jump on their calendar or actually watch some of that training and not make those same mistakes, you can click the link and watch those below. Victoria, I'm going to jump to you. As you've seen the success of your father and this agency, kind of twofold. Number one, how do you feel like you've helped bring some value to really scale and grow this thing? And then the second piece after that is, what do you admire about your dad that you've learned in regards to business?
Oh, I'll start this. That's pretty easy. When I first came back, I used to work for sports teams back in the day.
Wow.
So then my husband, he ruined my plans, and I came back to El Paso. And one of the first things, the initial things that I did was I changed our social media. Like, they barely didn't have Facebook. He just wanted bench ads, and that was our huge debate, was really creating a social media presence, because I told him, millennials are coming up. They do the Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all the stuff. So one, it was the social media, and two, not making insurance so boring. So if people follow me on TikTok, on Instagram, or any of that stuff, I try to make it about my everyday life, not just insurance stuff, because insurance pertains to everyday life, and it's not boring, but it's how it's conveyed out there. And I think sometimes people, if you give them too much knowledge, then they're not going to appreciate that. So I try to make it fun for everyone, and that's what we tried to do. And then as far as what I admire about him and my mom, is that they created relationships with their clients, because we're on the third generation of clients. So we had their parents, their kids, their grandkids all come here. And I feel like that's been the real part of the secret sauce, is that they're like, okay, well, I dealt with Oscar, now I'm going to deal with Victoria or Loretta, which is my mom. And that really has helped out, because they know we're not going anywhere.
Yes, that's cool. Such a great answer.
I'll tell you what, if I could comment something on that, really, her and my wife, because my wife's an amazing salesperson.
She is.
And I'm not just saying that. She's an amazing salesperson. But when we were used to traditional marketing, everything we were used to traditional marketing. So when she came on board, we bumped heads and we couldn't do it. So my wife and I said, listen, hey, let's see who's wrong. Let's try both sides and let's see who's wrong. And it didn't take us long to figure out she was 100% correct. So then from that point, we just.
He had 2 pages on the yellow pages. I was like, get rid of it. Get rid of it.
Yeah.
So, but she did amazing.
Cool.
I realized what she was saying, and it didn't take us long to bake that shift.
That's awesome. I love that. I would also love you to comment too, like Victoria mentioned, you're just really good at creating relationships, with your people. I would love for you to talk to that, Oscar, about how other agents and agency owners, just maybe some ideas of things that you've done to build relationships, and also why they're so important.
Well, I think, and I don't want to take the credit, because really it should be my wife that should be here, because she's really the expert in this area. And I'll give you an example of some of the relationships she's had. When we were a captive agency, for 35 years, I'll give you 2. For example, one of the first times we had in the city, we had a lot of Filipino nurses and from the medical community migrating to the city, because we had a shortage of medical people. And for some reason, underwriting, back then we were with Farmers Insurance. They didn't understand the underwriting. We couldn't get the underwriters to understand that they had experience driving. These were all people that were all professionals. And so my wife was she was very relentless. We went to Austin, we talked to the underwriters, we gave them all the facts, everything like that. They gave us an exception to give them a standard rate as opposed to a higher tier rate. And
Yes.
From there, it just exploded. We just made a tremendous relationship. We probably had probably about 60% of all the Filipinos that came in from that medical community were all insured with us. We did that with them. We're huge with the real estate community. In fact, God, now she's done magnificent there with the realtors. She's done wonderful. I don't know how many realtors follow you.
A ton.
Probably what would you say? Over 100, 150 realtors? More than 200 realtors.
What would you say has worked well, Victoria, to get the attention of realtors? Because there's a lot of agency owners, P&C people that would love it.
I don't sell insurance. I'm not going to be the person that gives donuts. I'm not going to do that stuff. Honestly, I talk about makeup. I talk about kids. Like, I talk about everything else. Like, they know, luckily we've been around for 35 years and we're an established agency. But I'm this way. I don't like people that are constantly selling to me. I'd rather get to know that person and say, hey, Cody's a cool guy. I'm going to buy insurance from him. I trust him. They've been around 35 years. It's more about, once they know that you guys are a good business and you have a good following and you have a good reputation, it's more about creating that relationship with that person, that they don't feel like you're trying to get something out of them all the time.
Yes.
And so for me, it was like, as simple as, what foundation do you use? And we'd go back and forth. And then they're like, oh, can you help one of my clients? Like, I don't really, to be honest, I don't really talk too much about insurance with them. I create more of like a relationship about it. And with our clients too, with their clients, they know we're the type of people that we get calls, not just about insurance, but about, who do we call for attorneys? Who do we call for a doctor? Who do we call? So we try to be, Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, we obviously, however, we do they know when it comes to insurance
they're
that we're
good.
legit.
Yeah.
We're as legit as they come, and we're
Awesome.
actually very fact based. We explain to them every reason, and then we try to provide value added services as well. For example, during COVID, we said we were pushing wills to get wills. We actually had one of our attorneys create a discount for them, so people wanted will.
Mm,
We had them deal there. We actually went out of our way to even find a book it's a $30 book that would help people improve their credit. We never make a penny out of it or anything like that, but we're very honest with people. We're telling them, look, everything in the PNC is credit based and algorithms, so you can also help yourself by improving your credit. And here's a simple book. It's
mm.
probably, I mean, a small little paperback, $30. We don't promote it. We don't make any money, but it works.
Yes.
And
Yes.
a lot of it educate. Once you have educated the people that they understand. Hey, not only are you legit, you know what you're doing. Then then we can shift away from that, and we can become friends. We don't have to be just an insurance professional at that time.
And a lot of them are my
Yeah.
friends, and that's what it's helped, because it has created, initially it was for business, and then it just evolved into friendships and relationships. And I feel like that's why now we have such a good reputation, where they're like, well, can you get me, my family, and all that stuff on there? But it starts with creating the relationship, and it takes about 3 solid times to really talk to them before they're going to trust you with any of their business.
As well as with the professional community. What to me, one of the biggest, I guess, what's flattering to me, or what gives us, when you have people from the legal community that say, hey, look, I may be relocating, moving my practice, but I want you to insure my family, my brothers, my siblings, because you're the only one that we trust on doing that. So it speaks volumes for us that they trust us, and we tell them, hey, here's the good, here's the bad, here's your options. And
Yes.
really, and that's what we do. So we not only do we educate, but then we foster the relationship. I think a combination of those things are
Mm.
are huge.
Yeah.
Are
That's
huge.
strong. Yeah. I love that. That's strong. I mean, you've also got a lot of PNC agents, and PNC agents around the country are like reaching out to work with y'all and be a part of what you're doing. Um, why do you think that is? What's different about y'all, and why should others take it seriously?
As far as why should they consider joining us?
Yeah.
Or why should-
Yeah.
we had when we were with a captive agent, or should I let me? I don't want to date myself, but it doesn't matter. I'm an old guy, but anyway. But I think what I wanted to do. This industry has been magnificent for myself, my family, my wife. We've lived a wonderful. We've made a lot of money. We've I've been able to educate my kids, put them to top tier universities, everything. We've had a wonderful. We made a lot of money, and we wanted to play it forward. And I think that when we were a captive agent before, we had limitations because we weren't in control. Now, as an independent side, we open we give people every opportunity for them to succeed. Where, hey, if they find another opportunity somewhere else, they're welcome to do it. But if they stay with us, they can have ownership, equity in the company. They can move up the ladder to where they become partners. So we operate something like a law firm, where they generate volume, they generate premium, and then they can become a partner. They can become an equity partner in the company. And
That's cool.
that's the way and I think by doing it like that, we bring in the experience, they bring in the youth and the energy, and we work together.
Yep. Yep. I love it. Well, Oscar and Victoria, it's been fun hanging out with you. Thank you for sharing your story and everything you're doing. And it was a joy to interview you. Oscar, Victoria, is there anything else you would like to add before we end our interview today?
I think with us, as far as like insurance, if anyone's thinking about it or doing it, the thing that I love about it is the sky's the limit. You could be your own boss. You create that residual income. And I think the reason why a lot of people like to work with us is that you build your own book. So instead of just getting paid 50,000 a year or 100,000 a year, it's up to you, and your own boss without the headaches of managing admin, taxes, and all that stuff. So I
Good.
always love this
And I
career.
and I think also now there's never been a better time and an easier time to be in this industry.
Yes.
So anybody who has thought about it or is thinking or is in the fence about it, I would recommend do it now. It's not going to get any better than this anymore. Now is the time. This is going to be our time to shine.
I love that. That's so awesome. Also, if you are watching, go and you want to check out their training video on the 5 biggest mistakes that P&C agents are making, feel free to click the link below in the description and go check that out. Oscar, Victoria, thank you so much for being on the interview, and thank you for your time. Great job.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Hey, if you enjoyed this, I got another one you're gonna love. It's right there. Click on it. See you in there.
So I got 3 key questions for you as we kick this thing off right now. Number 1, what is it that you really want? What keeps you up at night? I'm going to read a text.